All right, hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. This is Rudy. I just wanted to make another video on, Zeitgeist. It's one of my favorite subjects, but, I did watch the Zeitgeist 3 movie a couple nights ago, somewhere around there. And it's just absolute crap. I mean, I guess, that's no surprise for anybody that has watched my videos. They don't understand the nature of human beings. They don't understand, they don't address the root of the problem. And I wrote down some quotes, and I don't even think they're a threat. As long as they maintain the idea that they're not going to force themselves on anybody, then they're not really a threat. It's just like these hippie communes where a bunch of hippies get together and they're going to have a wonderful life and they're going to hold hands and they'll go off and stake out a spot of land, and it'll fall apart in 6 months because they'll argue with one another, and some of them will work hard at it, some of them won't, and the people that work hard will get mad at the people that don't, and human nature will take over and they'll just fall apart on their own. So they're no threat whatsoever as long as they continue to abide by the rule that they will not force their ideas on us. And I could argue with them philosophically, but a human soul has to go through certain stages of development and life experience in order to understand certain truths of this world. And I don't know if the people at the top of the Zeitgeist movement have gone through those experiences or not. They're probably in it for additional motives. I don't want to, I can't really guess. It could be that they got that, that they're actually sincere and just plain stupid. Let me just mention a few things I wrote down. They pushed the Malthusian thing really hard about scarcity and resource-based economy, and we got to all use our world resources properly, otherwise nobody will have enough. And they pushed the Malthusian thing, which is a big joke, big time. And you push the Malthusian argument when you want to control the population by telling them there's not enough for everybody, so everybody has to be limited to whatever they say you should be limited to. They push the equality thing, and all intentions, all government tyranny is done by pushing the equality button. Somehow that people believe in capitalism don't believe in equality, and that's absolutely absurd. So they push the equality thing big, and if you're for equality, you're going to be for Zeitgeist, which is a big freaking lie. They're going to create a society that has no violence by conditioning the environment. That's an absolute joke. I could go into that a whole lot deeper, but it's so obvious. You don't condition your environment. We had sin in the Garden of Eden. Cain killed Abel. If you have everything you want physically, that doesn't stop people from having a corrupt heart and wanting to commit crime on one another, either through jealousy or lust or envy, right? There's all kinds of sins that don't have anything to do with scarcity and not having enough food to eat or not having enough shelter. They somehow think if they produce an environment that where there's enough physical things that all crime will go away, but that's so absurd. I guarantee you that Zeitgeist is going to be against guns as well, because they want to condition the environment, right? They want to control your car so that it only does the speed limit, or they want to control your car through radar, GPS in the sky so that it drives itself and you will no longer have any accidents. Well, it's just a matter of time, somebody got shot with a pistol, so we got to take everybody's pistol away, right? That's how you condition the environment. We had someone over here get totally upset and throw a big temper tantrum in the middle of the store, so now we've got to give him a drug to calm him down. So anybody who shows symptoms of that, we got to give them drugs as well, because we can't have anybody throwing a temper tantrum in a store. That's conditioning your environment. Bill loves Susie, but Bob's been messing around with Susie, so Bill went and hurt Bob. Well, now we can't have none of that, right? Because can't have violence from Bill hurting Bob because he messed around with Susie, who Bill loves. So we got to go. I don't know how they'll address that, right? We'll probably have free love for everybody, where all the women and all the men share each other equally, and we'll have just take turns messing around with everybody. Or we got to totally break down the family unit, because we can't have family squabbles. It doesn't take a whole lot to see where this conditioning your environment to stop crime is an absolute ludicrous argument, and it's done from the most stupid position you can possibly imagine. And the people that want to argue that don't understand the root of the problem. It's like, it's just a matter of time. Well, guns are used in violence. We got to take guns away from everybody. Well, somebody killed somebody with a knife last week. We got to take your knives away. Well, somebody got their bare fingers and ripped out somebody's throat. Well, now we got to have throat guards. Everybody's walking around with throat guards on because we can't have anybody ripping anybody's throat out with their bare fingers. Somebody got sick, so now we all got to walk around with masks. You see how this conditioning your environment argument breaks down? They don't want to have any prisons. They don't want to have any cash. Attacking cash is not addressing the root of the problem either. They should be attacking the corruption. I've said all along, it isn't capitalism that has failed us. It is the corruption. And so how do you fix that? How do you fix and build a society such that the whole world can live better and everyone has a chance for food and shelter and a happy life? You do that by addressing the root of the problem. You do that by building a society such that men are free. They have free to worship their God or not worship their God, right? The best environment for atheist to be atheist is in a Christian environment, a Christian capitalist environment. Because then an atheist can be an atheist all day long. He don't have to worry about anything. And when a Christian tries to talk to him, the Christian doesn't try to throw the atheist in jail. He simply tries to convince him there is a God. Might make him feel uncomfortable, might make him feel like, hey, that's not good to be an atheist. But you never have to worry about going to jail, right? But if you dissent from a Zeitgeist society, they're going to try to condition you. They're going to try to, hey, he's a dissenter. He's causing problems for other people. He's crying loud about how bad the system is. We've got to condition him. Let's give him some drugs or put him in an environment where he can't affect other people. See, the best place to have dissenters and people, to dissent from the normal attitude of society is in a Christian environment, because Christians will tolerate freedom of speech, freedom of religion. We want people to have freedom. We don't, the one thing that God doesn't do is force himself upon you. So, but that isn't true for other religions, and it certainly isn't true for, what Zeitgeist is proposing. So corruption from scarcity is just absolute BS. The Malthusian argument, absolute BS. Resource-based economy, BS. Pushing equality by making everybody have the same is absolute BS. I've got two brothers that have mental problems. They're actually in mental institutions. One of them has died from cancer. But what would Zeitgeist do with my brothers that have mental problems? Do they get the same as everybody else? Right? Are they going to get housing and food? And if they can't even think properly. One of them doesn't even recognize me when I go visit him. So let's say that all this crap about pushing a button and ordering a book, or it's not going to. People don't have the same needs, and you're not going to be able to build an environment that buffers everybody from everything. You have to have incentives for people to do certain things, and that the profit motive is not bad. I'm telling you, it's okay to have a profit motive, and it's okay to do that as long as you have an ethical framework around the profit motive so that people don't take advantage of their fellow man. That's what we've lost. The profit motive was a good thing in the what made America prosperous, but we did it through an ethical framework, and we had laws, a minimal amount of laws, so that people were fair and they didn't take advantage of their fellow man. I noticed in the movie it said we're going to develop an economic system which is actually designed to take care of you. Go listen to that. That's actually the words they use, to take care of you. See, I don't want government taking care of me. I don't want a society that takes care of me. I don't want a society that takes care of my family. I want myself. I want the individual to be responsible for themselves. And that's how you develop good individuals. That's how you develop people that take personal responsibility. They take pride in their work. They take pride in how they're living their life. And hopefully they will be done through a biblical and ethical framework and a Christian framework, such that charity comes from the heart. It doesn't come through force. And once you do that, and you have a capitalistic framework with a Christian ethical framework, then you'll just naturally have good societies, and everybody, waving at each other, saying howdy, and can I help you build your barn? And I heard your cousin is having a hard time. Is there anything I can do to help? That comes from your heart. It doesn't come through the force of society that forces you to take care of everyone. It comes through the goodness of the heart. You need to address the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is the wickedness of man's heart, which we're seeing all over the place in today's world. And that's because we've gotten away from God's word, and we've gotten away from a Christian framework. I noticed that in the movie they didn't believe in condemnation or forgiveness. They didn't believe in forgiveness or condemnation. They made the statement that don't blame the racist, that he's a racist. He was just born that way, and that's his culture. It's his culture to be a racist. Don't blame the priest for pedophilia. He was just raised that way. His environment, it made him, take advantage of that young boy. He's not a bad priest. He takes advantage of those young boys and he sexually molests them, but he's okay. We'll just have to condition that priest so that he don't do that anymore. You guys make me freaking sick. That priest needs to be executed. He needs to be executed and his life taken away after he's prosecuted in a court of law to set an example for anybody else who thinks that it's okay to take advantage of a young boy or a young child. The Lord said it's better that a millstone be wrapped around your neck than to hurt one of these little ones. See, I don't have this attitude that Zeitgeist does. Let's not condemn those that do bad. No, those that do bad and hurt little ones and other heinous crimes need to be punished. There's no doubt about it. But we do need an ethical system and an ethical framework, not this prison system that we have today. I agree we have too many people in prison, and we have people in prison for nonviolent crimes, and we have people in prison for this war on drugs and all that crap, and I'm not for that, but we have to reform the prison system. There are proper and ethical ways to build a society, to build a prison system, and to address the wickedness in man's heart, and that's through the Word of God and the baseline that Jesus Christ set down. It's not this Zeitgeist hippie community. He actually says in the movie, freedom of choice is dangerous. Think about that. Freedom of choice is dangerous. There you go. Everybody's going to have the same house. Everybody's going to have the same car. Everybody's going to have the same access to everything. You guys need to think about the ramifications of that. That's nothing, but communism on some sort of hippie trip. I mean, we got a hippie thing going on with communism, and he pushes the peak oil myth. Profit motive is bad. The thing is, as long as they stick to their idea that they're not going to force this on anybody, let them go off into their, buy the land and do their little hippie community thing. It'll break down in 6 months. This was tried in the 60s. I've talked to older people in my life that mentioned that, there were bands of people that grouped together. They had this nirvana attitude of, utopia attitude, I guess is what I should say. And, they started out, and it all started out, everybody was enthusiastic, but some people would work really hard at it. Some people would sit on their ass, and when the time come, to pass everything out, the people that worked really hard got a little upset, and then somebody would screw somebody else's girlfriend, and somebody would get mad, and other people didn't think they were appreciated, and the whole thing falls apart, right? You guys, the Zeitgeist idea is absolute stupidity. It's stupidity because you don't recognize the root of the problem. We need a society that's based on biblical ethical principles with the profit motive and honest money. And we need a small government. It's been done before, and that's why America was prosperous. For you people that hate America, screw you. America was not prosperous because we took advantage of the black man. America was not prosperous because we took advantage of the red man. Yes, we did some bad things. I'm not saying we didn't do bad things, but that wasn't why we were prosperous. We were prosperous because we set the human spirit free. We allowed the freedom of a person to progress and pursue his dream and work hard and to accomplish more, and yes, to get more. If you work more, you get more. If you don't work, you don't get more. And the Zeitgeist system gives everything equal to everybody. You guys need to educate yourself about how the real world works. If you guys ain't figured it out by now, go off and live in your hippie community systems. I don't really care what you do. If that's what you want, and you want to call me a redneck and call me all these names and say how ignorant I am, you go ahead and do that. I don't really care. It doesn't hurt my feelings one little bit. Just stick to the attitude of don't force it on anybody. As long as you say that, go have your fun. It'll fall apart in 6 months. And God bless every one of you. I wanted to do my little rant on Zeitgeist. I'm not a Zeitgeist fan in the least. I can't stand the whole thought of it. The fact that so many young people are falling for it is actually a statement for the older generation that we didn't teach good enough, and we didn't hand down proper education properly. That it's really a fallacy on the older people. But I'm doing my best to get the word out. And the young people that are going to have to learn this all over again, we're probably going to have to go through a financial collapse, social upheaval. When you're walking in the streets and there's no rule of law, and you're looking for a thing to eat, I guarantee you Zeitgeist is going to be the last thing on your mind. I would offer that if you want to find the truth of this world, you need to be reading the Bible. You need to start out with the New Testament. You need to understand the parables and the lessons of Jesus Christ, and you need to look at world history and see what the history of the world has taught us, and not buy into the spin that your colleges are teaching you that America is bad, Christianity is bad, capitalism is bad, individualism is bad. We're all going to be running out of the world resources. We've got to learn to, take care of each other. No, you take care of yourself. You are responsible for yourself. You don't want a society to take care of you. And that's what Zeitgeist proposes. I could go on and on and on and talk about Zeitgeist, but they're not a big threat. It'll fall apart on its own. It's just scary how many young people are buying into it, but it just shows me the level of stupidity of our young people. But that's really the fault of the older generation for not teaching our young people properly. But that's what I got to say about that. It's cold in Texas. I'm looking forward to warming up and getting rid of all this ice and snow. And God bless every one of you, and take care.